Master, we are perishing.
Hello and welcome, my dear friend.
Peace.
There's something I need you to
Be
know,
still.
and I won't wait until you're ready to hear it, because in a deeper way, you already are. God is proud of you. Not because you followed the rules perfectly, not because you stayed calm when you were supposed to scream, not even because you kept faith when everything tried to bury it. God is proud of you because you kept becoming, even when everything around you told you it would be easier to just stop. And maybe you didn't always hear that in the past. Maybe nobody said it to you when you were younger, when you did the right thing with shaking hands, when you gave away your last bit of strength and still didn't receive what you needed. Maybe no one noticed when you quietly chose love, in a moment when revenge would have made far more noise. But heaven did. That's the part you need to sit with today. Nothing good you've done has gone unseen. You've been walking with a spiritual integrity that doesn't beg for applause. You've been breaking cycles, clearing bloodlines, holding peace in places where anger was the only language. You've made healing decisions without any guarantee of reward. And every time you did, you built something eternal. You see, God isn't impressed by appearances. You don't win divine favor by performing your pain correctly. That's not what this is. That's not who you are. You're not being recognized for suffering quietly. You're being honored for rising truthfully, for being real in your storms, for not abandoning your light to fit into rooms that mistook your humility for weakness, for feeling everything and still returning to love, not the emotion, but the choice. You have no idea how rare that is. There's a sacred kind of power in someone who can walk through fire without becoming what burned them. Someone who can see cruelty clearly and still choose not to pass it forward. That's the kind of strength no sermon can teach, no textbook can capture. And you, whether you realize it yet or not, are carrying that exact kind of power. You've taught God more about faith than most people ever will. Because your faith didn't come from comfort. It was carved out of the in-between, formed in the places where nothing made sense, and still, you didn't give up on the story. That's why the blessings coming to you now feel different. It's not just your time in some generic cosmic cycle. It's the moment when your truth finally starts to echo louder than your trials. You earned this season in silence, through late nights no one knew about, through self-restraint that looked like defeat to people who never understood your discipline, through decisions that made no sense on paper but aligned perfectly with your spirit. So now something shifts. The light you've been cultivating in private starts to ripple outward. The peace you used to fight for shows up with less resistance, and people begin to feel something around you that even they can't explain. That's not a coincidence. That's the fruit of a soul that didn't quit. And maybe you still feel unsure about it. Maybe you're still getting used to the idea that goodness is allowed to come to you without chaos as its price tag. Maybe joy still feels foreign, like a language you used to speak fluently but forgot after too many years of survival. That's okay. It's returning now. And not because you manifested it perfectly, not because you finally found the right words to say in prayer, but because even when you doubted yourself, God didn't. The divine knew exactly what it was doing when it put that spirit in your body, when it gave you eyes that see deeper, a heart that feels further, a voice that carries more weight than you know. You are what healing looks like in motion. You are what integrity looks like in a world that rewards performance. You are what it means to walk as a soul that remembers its source, even when the world forgets. And listen, it hasn't been easy. The most sacred transformations rarely are. There were nights when you didn't sleep, mornings when you didn't want to wake up and try again, moments where everything in you wanted to retaliate, but instead you released. And that version of you, that quiet warrior, that's the one heaven celebrates the loudest. Not the perfect you, not the polished you, but the honest you. The one who wrestled, the one who stayed, the one who surrendered without quitting. You don't need to earn a seat at the divine table anymore. You've already built it, with your resilience, with your love, with your choice to keep walking when you had every reason to sit down. And now, that seat is being prepared, because the God who watched you through every battle is now placing honor in your hands. And it's not a favor, it's a response. So here you are now, standing at the edge of a life that finally recognizes you. And maybe it feels strange. Maybe you're not used to this kind of ease, to doors opening without a fight, to people seeing your value without you having to first prove your pain. But let me say it clearly, it's your turn now. Not just for peace, but for joy. Not just for survival, but for expansion. Because there's a difference between getting by and being blessed. And for too long, you've known how to endure. But now you're about to remember how to receive. That kind of shift doesn't happen just because time passes. It happens when alignment catches up with identity, when your soul is no longer playing small just to avoid drawing too much attention. And make no mistake, your presence is powerful. You're not just a light in someone's darkness. You're the proof that a soul can be both soft and unbreakable, that someone can lose everything and still choose to build again without bitterness. You carry the kind of grace that makes people question their masks, the kind of truth that doesn't need to scream to be heard. And now, the universe is answering you back. Not just in signs and whispers, but in real, tangible shifts. Opportunities that find you without effort. Relationships that don't exhaust you just to feel seen. Paths that once felt blocked beginning to clear in front of you, not because it's finally easy, but because you've become ready. You didn't skip steps to get here. You lived every inch of this story. And don't let anyone make you feel like you have to explain that. You don't have to recount your scars for them to respect your strength. You don't owe anyone your journey just to validate your destination. Let them wonder. Let them question how you got here. God saw it all. God kept count when no one else could. You were seen in every silent prayer, in every moment of restraint, in every quiet decision to not go back to the version of you that begged for crumbs when you were born to command the feast. You've grown in a way that no algorithm can capture, no camera can show. You've expanded in your core. And from this point forward, the world is going to feel different, not because it changed, but because you did. Your discernment is sharper now. You don't entertain what drains you. You don't chase what confuses you. You don't bargain with energy that feels off just because it comes dressed as opportunity. You've learned what peace actually feels like, and that's why you no longer tolerate the chaos that used to feel normal. You're not above anyone. You just stopped shrinking beneath yourself. That's what spiritual maturity looks like. It's not some grand arrival. It's the daily, quiet refusal to shrink. The subtle choices to stay true when compromise would be easier. The deep knowing that your value doesn't fluctuate based on who recognizes it. And now, the rewards aren't just coming. They're right here. In the way your body feels safer to live in the way your spirit feels less scattered, in the way you don't need to be understood anymore to feel whole. Because the reward isn't just what you're about to receive, it's who you became while waiting. Let that sink in. This isn't just a new chapter, it's a different book. The rules are not the same. The version of you who needed everyone's approval doesn't run this story anymore. The version of you who mistook loyalty for self-betrayal doesn't hold the pen. You do. And the hand that holds that pen was kissed by God before it ever knew what power it carried. So write boldly, live truthfully, Choose with confidence, not because you've never failed, but because every fall was a rehearsal for your rise. Every decision, every heartbreak, every lonely moment, every time you started again, even when you were still bleeding from the last ending, it was all counted, it was all held, it was all holy. Because God is proud of you, for persisting, for presence, not because you were fearless, but because you moved anyway. The divine is watching, and heaven is already applauding. You've earned more than just survival. You've earned honor, and it's here now. Thank you so much for taking this journey with me. If you found value in this message, please like the video and share it with others who might benefit. Don't forget to subscribe and continue your amazing journey by watching one of the videos showing on your screen that resonates with you the most. See you there. Hello and welcome, my dear friend. There are some things your soul remembers that your mind was never meant to translate. And that's not a flaw, that's protection. Because when something is sacred, it doesn't announce itself. It hides. It prepares. It waits for the right moment to reveal its power. And right now, you are that sacred thing. You've been asking, haven't you? Why do I wake up feeling like I've lived a whole lifetime while I slept? Why do I carry a weight in my chest, like I just returned from somewhere I don't recall? Why does my body rest, but my spirit feel like it never stopped moving? Let me tell you something that most people are not ready to hear. You're not tired because you're lazy. You're tired because you've been walking in realms your conscious mind cannot yet name. You've been receiving instructions you don't remember, because they weren't given to your memory. They were given to your calling. This isn't just about dreams. This is about what's been encoded into you while you weren't looking. Because the chosen don't get trained the way the rest do. You don't just get taught in daylight, you're shaped in the shadows, in the silence, in the places where nothing makes sense, but everything is changing. And that strange pressure you've been feeling lately, the one that keeps building even when life looks normal, that's not anxiety. That's your future knocking. That's your spirit cracking open under the weight of everything it's been entrusted with. You've been asking to remember your dreams. But what if I told you, some things are too divine to be remembered too soon? Because the moment you remember, you're responsible. And God would rather protect your destiny than rush your ego into action. You see, the blueprint is already inside you. Not on a scroll, not in a dream journal, in your bones, in your instincts, in the way you suddenly just know something without being told. Because memory fades, but encoding doesn't. Your soul has been recording every revelation it's ever received. That moment you jolted awake at 3:33, that name you heard whispered in your sleep, then forgot by morning. That sense that someone was standing over you, not to scare you, but to confirm you. You weren't imagining it. You were being visited, trained, aligned. Because you're not here to entertain dreams, you're here to embody prophecy, and the enemy knows that. That's why the warfare has escalated. That's why sleep has felt more like a battlefield than a retreat. That's why even on nights you rest 8 hours, you wake up feeling like you've survived a war. Because you have. While the world sleeps for recovery, you sleep for preparation. Every forgotten dream wasn't a loss. It was a seed, buried, watered in mystery, growing in silence, until the moment your spirit is strong enough to hold what your memory couldn't carry. But I need you to understand something deeply. Your forgetting isn't failure. It's encryption. The most sacred revelations come sealed. Because if they leaked too soon, they'd be tampered with. By fear, by doubt, by external voices who were never meant to see what you've been shown. So instead, you were hidden, your dreams veiled, your visions delayed. Not because you're weak, but because you're that important. And the pressure you've been under lately? It's not random. It's the sound of your spirit aligning with a memory that hasn't surfaced yet but will. Not in pieces, not in flashes, but in full, blazing clarity. When the time comes, you don't need to chase the dreams you forgot. They never left you. They've been walking beside you this whole time, quietly shaping your decisions. You've said things lately you didn't realize were answers to prayers you once prayed. You've stepped into rooms and felt déjà vu, not because you've been there before physically, but because your spirit rehearsed it in the dream realm long ago. And now your life is catching up. You are not being left behind. You are being synchronized, and soon, everything you've sensed, everything you've carried without understanding, everything you've held in silence, will begin to move, not just inside you, but through you. Your voice will change, not in sound, but in weight. Because when someone begins to speak from a place beyond memory, people feel it. There's a different kind of presence that enters the room when a soul starts remembering what it was assigned to carry. That presence is rising in you. And here's what will happen next. The veil will not lift all at once. It never does. It will come in fragments, in moments, in the middle of mundane things, doing the dishes, walking down the street, watching the sky. Suddenly, you'll pause and know. Not recall, not imagine, know. And it will terrify your old self. Because the you that wanted proof, the you that needed validation, the you that was waiting to be chosen by others, can't survive what's coming. That version of you was never meant to carry this revelation. But the you that's emerging now, the one who doesn't need the whole map before taking the first step, the one who listens to instinct like it's scripture, that's the version God has been building in silence. You are not just the dreamer anymore. You are the dream unfolding. And the world doesn't need another person chasing clarity. It needs someone bold enough to become it. So when the next moment of recognition hits you, when you feel the memory press against your chest like it's trying to break through, don't run. Don't doubt yourself. Receive it. Because when it comes, it will be loud. It will interrupt you. It might even wreck your routine. But it will also activate something ancient inside you. Something that says, you've been here before. You were prepared for this. You're not remembering by accident. You're remembering on cue. And that's when it will all begin to make sense. Why you were protected. Why you were hidden. Why certain doors never opened. Because they weren't your doors. They were distractions dressed as destiny. But now, your real assignment is stepping forward. And it's not something you chase. It's something you carry. It's already yours. This is why your presence has been disrupting rooms lately. Why people look at you and feel something they can't explain. It's not charisma. It's not coincidence. It's the vibration of someone walking with divine intel. Even if they don't know what you know, they know that you know something. You can't fake that, because there's a difference between someone who talks about dreams and someone who's been living them unconsciously for years, receiving codes, holding blueprints, remembering truths too sacred to be spoken yet. That's you now, and from this point forward, everything changes. You won't be trying to recall what you lost. You'll be aligning with what's surfacing, and it won't come with thunder. It will come with precision. You'll speak less, but say more. You'll walk into situations that used to confuse you and feel clear. Not because the chaos disappeared, but because you finally remember who you are inside it. This is not the season of searching. This is the season of remembering. And not everyone will understand it. Some will say you've changed. Some will be threatened by the ease with which you begin to move. But don't explain yourself. You were never supposed to convince them. You were supposed to become. You see, you weren't just trained to handle dreams. You were trained to carry messages. Some of those messages will never be written down. They'll be spoken through your presence, through your courage, through your peace in situations where peace should not exist. And the enemy? He's already seen it. That's why the resistance has been relentless. Because the moment you become aware of what you carry, it's game over for everything trying to silence it. So here's your confirmation. You haven't been forgetting, you've been entrusted, and now you're ready to hold it with open eyes. From this day on, walk like someone who has returned from a hidden realm, not with arrogance, but with authority. Because the most powerful messengers don't yell, they radiate, and the most dangerous ones to the enemy are the ones who stopped needing to remember, because they became the message itself. Chosen one, you are the message now. It's not about the dream anymore. It's about what you're about to do with what was sealed in your soul long before this life ever began. You are not behind. You are not missing anything. You're right on time. And now the seal is cracking. The flame is rising. The echo is turning into a voice. And that voice is yours. So type it now. Say it with every part of your being. I'm not forgotten. I'm being activated. Because this time, it's not a dream. It's a return. And you are ready. Thank you so much for taking this journey with me. If this message resonated, please like, share it with someone who might benefit, and subscribe to stay connected. Continue your awakening journey by choosing one of the videos on your screen that resonates with you the most. See you there. Hello and welcome, my dear friend. Somewhere in the world right now, someone is carrying the same ache as you, same brilliance as you. Not because they've met you, but because they're meant to. They're feeling the pull too. That strange homesickness for a place they haven't reached yet, but somehow recognize. And you? You're not imagining this restlessness in your spirit. You're sensing each other, because your tribe is already looking for you. This isn't about friendship. It's not about getting along with people who have similar tastes or beliefs. It's about the collision of spiritual frequencies that were separated long ago, finally circling back into alignment. And if you're here right now, it means something in you is starting to broadcast. Not a cry for help, a signal, a beacon, a truth too strong to keep silent any longer. But before that signal can land, you need to understand what's really been happening to you. For a long time, you've been the one who sits quietly in a room, scanning beneath the conversations, searching for something real. You've tolerated laughter that didn't reach your chest. You've nodded along while feeling the weight of unsaid things. You've tried to keep your fire dimmed to keep others from flinching. That wasn't weakness. That was instinct. An attempt to survive in places that could never hold the real you. You weren't failing but filtering. And it wasn't rejection, it was redirection. The people who drifted, the ones who didn't see you, they weren't wrong. They simply weren't wired to recognize what you carry. Because only the ones tuned to your frequency can truly meet you. And that's why it's taken this long. You see, your tribe was never going to appear while you were still twisting yourself to be acceptable. They couldn't find you until you started unmasking. Not because you weren't worthy before, but because the role you were performing didn't send out the right signal. The ones you're destined to walk with, they don't need your resume. They need your resonance. And now, finally, you're beginning to speak in your native spiritual tongue. Not with words, but with presence. The kind of presence that doesn't shrink when silence falls. The kind that doesn't rush to fill every gap. The kind that says, I know who I am, even when no one claps. This is the turning point, because while you've been shedding old stories, they've been doing the same. There are souls waking up across oceans and borders, remembering pieces of themselves they thought were lost, because something in the world is calling them back together. This isn't about waiting around to be noticed. It's about standing where your spirit is undeniable, not louder or prettier, just clearer. And in that clarity, you become findable. It doesn't mean you'll walk into a room and instantly lock eyes with the people who've been sent for you. It means you'll feel it in your chest before your mind catches up. You'll recognize each other through a stillness that doesn't demand effort. There's no performance in these connections, no pressure to impress, just evidence that your soul has been speaking to theirs long before your bodies met. It's like tuning an old radio in the dark. You turn the dial slowly, past static and noise, and suddenly, there it is. A song you didn't know you were missing, until the melody hits something ancient inside you. That's what it feels like when they arrive. But to recognize your tribe, you have to stop performing grief as loyalty. You have to stop calling stagnation a test of endurance. There's no prize for staying in places that keep your light on a dimmer. The people you're looking for won't pull your energy down. They'll steady it. They'll speak your language without needing a translator. And when you speak, they won't just hear you. They'll feel you. But that kind of connection requires something raw from you. You have to stop carrying your power like it's fragile. You have to show up, not as the version of you that survived, but the version of you that remembers. Because when you remember who you are, they will too. The version of you who remembers doesn't beg for connection. They notice alignment. Because finding your tribe isn't about collecting people. It's about recognizing reflections. You'll know them not by how loud they praise you, but by how quiet your nervous system becomes when they're near. You won't have to second-guess your value. You won't feel the need to shrink, soften, or explain. Your tribe brings a stillness, not the kind that silences you, but the kind that makes you feel safe to speak. They'll say things you've said only in your journal. They'll hold the silence with you, not as something to fix, but something sacred. These aren't relationships born from convenience. They're born from resonance, the sound your soul makes when it finally feels met. And here's how you'll really know. You'll stop feeling exhausted by connection, because your spirit won't be doing all the labor anymore. In rooms that were never meant for you, your energy always worked overtime, adjusting, translating, hiding, performing. It's like being stuck speaking a second language your entire life. And then suddenly, someone walks in and speaks your first. There's no effort in real recognition, just remembering. But I need to tell you something honest. Your tribe will not always arrive softly. Sometimes they'll jolt you awake. Because real connection doesn't just comfort, it confronts. It will mirror things you thought you buried. It will hold up a reflection of who you're becoming, and if you're not ready, it can feel like friction. But don't mistake friction for danger. Sometimes what shakes you is what saves you. There are people who will trigger your growth, not through cruelty, but through clarity. The way they see you will demand you stop pretending. Their presence will stretch you. Their love will be laced with truth. And their truth won't coddle you. It will raise you. This is the sacred function of a real tribe. They don't just witness your transformation, they activate it. But to fully receive them, you have to meet them as your current self, not the one you left behind. That means not showing up in old costumes, hoping they'll accept you. That means trusting that your healed self is worthy of being seen, even if you're still a work in progress. Because so are they. Your tribe isn't looking for a performance. They're listening for the echo. And once that echo aligns, things will move quickly. Doors will open. Conversations will feel like déjà vu. The connection won't need to be figured out. It will just be. But remember this, not everyone who feels familiar is meant to stay. Some souls arrive to remind you, others arrive to walk beside you. Both are holy, but only one is your tribe. You'll feel the difference in your nervous system. One brings chaos with a smile, the other brings peace without needing to say a word. Don't ignore that feeling. Don't negotiate with it. Don't second-guess it. Because discernment is the compass that keeps you from getting lost in lookalikes. And if you're wondering where to find your tribe, it's simpler than you think. You don't find them by hunting. You attract them by stabilizing your frequency, by staying in spaces that reflect truth, not trends, by creating, not waiting, by showing up in places where truth is spoken, not just about others, but about yourself. Sometimes you'll meet them in comments, in quiet online corners where something deeper is happening, in the stillness after prayer, in a conversation that wasn't supposed to mean much, but your spirit catches it like a divine whisper. Stay open, because this isn't about being chosen by others. It's about recognizing the ones who are already walking toward you, and the closer they get, the more your intuition will speak. Don't ignore the pull. Don't dismiss the nudge. Trust that what you feel is more accurate than what you've been taught to question. This is the moment where paths begin to intersect. Not randomly, but divinely aligned. The ones who find you now, they didn't stumble into your life. They were guided, and so were you. Let this be your confirmation. You're not hard to love. You were just meant to be seen by the right ones. Your tribe is looking for you, and now that you've started showing up as the real you, they can. Thank you so much for taking this journey with me. If you found value in this message, please like the video and share it with others who might benefit. Don't forget to subscribe and continue your amazing journey by watching one of the videos showing on your screen that resonates with you the most. See you there. Hello and welcome, my dear friend. This message found you exactly right on time. Because what's happening in your life right now isn't a trick. It's not a phase, and it's definitely not a coincidence. You didn't stumble into this version of yourself. You conjured it, cell by cell, choice by choice, heartbreak by heartbreak. You've become the thing others only talk about, the thing they try to perform, mimic, or repackage. But you actually are it, and I know that might sound bold. But let me tell you the truth straight. You're not pretending to be the magician anymore. You are the magician. And no, not the magician they show in stories, desperate for applause, hiding secrets up their sleeve. You're the real kind, the kind that remembers. You carry a kind of genius in your energy, not because of how much you know, but because of how clearly you see. People underestimate you because you let them. You keep your brilliance folded, quiet. You observe more than you explain. You stay still so the world can reveal itself. And what a strange world it's become. Loud, distracted, desperate for validation. But you're not caught in that noise anymore, because something changed, something ancient in you woke up. Maybe it came through a breakdown that left your soul stripped raw. Maybe it came through isolation, silence, pain, or disappointment. But somewhere along the way, you stopped seeking confirmation outside of yourself and started listening to the quiet knowing within. Now the ideas, the insights, the messages, they don't come from books or trends. They come through you, like downloads you didn't ask for, but somehow always needed. You're strategic now, calculated but not manipulative, intentional but never controlling. You've learned how to sit with the energy before you act. And this is where your real power lies, in the space between impulse and creation. That's magician territory. You've become a master of alchemy, not by bypassing your emotions, but by moving through them with precision. You know when to be soft and when to be steel, when to listen and when to lead, when to dream and when to move. There's nothing accidental about your rise. Even if others call it luck, they weren't there for the nights you were breaking behind closed doors. They didn't see you question your entire existence and still choose to believe in a version of yourself you hadn't met yet. But that version? It's no longer a vision. It's who you are now, and it's magnetic. Your presence is starting to disturb people. And not because you're doing anything loud or dramatic. It's because your silence holds weight now. Your stillness triggers truth. Your joy exposes their resentment. Your clarity reveals their confusion. You've become a walking reflection of everything they've denied in themselves. And that's what real magic does. It doesn't just inspire, it stirs, it shakes, it disrupts. You've tapped into the ability to command energy, not by force, but by frequency. And here's the part most people miss. You didn't just master your mind, you re-entered your body. You stopped escaping into spiritual highs and started anchoring into physical presence. You realized you can't bring a vision into this world if you're floating above it all the time. So you began the descent into the bones, the breath, the hunger, the muscle, the rhythm of being here. You started stretching, moving, dancing, feeling, grounding. And in that grounding, you unlocked a whole new form of magic. Not the kind that looks impressive, the kind that works. You began pulling ideas down from the crown and into the root, into action, into form. You became someone who doesn't just know what's possible, you make it happen. And while others are still asking the question, how, you've become the answer that walks into the room. You don't need approval. You don't need to be louder. You just need to stay aligned. Because the reality is, you didn't come here to impress people. You came here to build what others said was impossible. And now, it's time to stop delaying. Stop doubting. Stop shrinking your abilities to make other people comfortable. You've been training long enough. And whether you realize it or not, you're already holding the wand, not to perform tricks, but to rebuild reality. And you're ready for it. So here's the real challenge now. Can you hold your power without broadcasting it? Can you manifest without explaining the method? Can you move with mastery even when no one is watching? Because the next chapter of your journey isn't about convincing anyone. It's about becoming undeniable. And that means shifting your relationship with creation itself, not hustling or forcing, but listening, letting things speak to you before you shape them, letting your body tell you when to move, instead of your fear. Because your magic doesn't live in trying harder. It lives in alignment. It lives in rhythm. It lives in the part of you that already knows what you were born to do, long before you had words for it. And lately, that part of you has been louder, hasn't it? You've been hearing things, feeling things, maybe even dreaming with more intensity. Many nights, your dreams feel like missions, conversations with your own soul, rehearsals for the life that's already waiting for you. That's not a coincidence. That's not your imagination. That's your deeper knowing, breaking through the static. It's your own energy field tuning itself for the next level. You've been receiving codes while you sleep, upgrades while you stretch, clarity while you cry. Your body is catching up to the light you already are.
Master,
That's why you're feeling the pull to cleanse, to move differently, to rest more, to eat simpler, to return to the earth. Not to escape, but to root, to anchor. Because your future isn't floating above your head anymore, it's circling your feet, waiting to be planted. And this is what most people miss when they talk about manifestation. They think it's about willpower, obsession, hustle. But for you, it's always been deeper than that. It's about listening so closely to your intuition that it feels like instinct. It's about trusting the nudge before there's evidence. It's about holding the vision long enough for reality to catch up. Because your path isn't linear. It never was. You've taken the scenic route through soul fires and sacred pauses, and every detour carved more power into your presence. You didn't lose time. You gained density. Now when you speak, it lands. When you move, the energy shifts. When you decide, doors open. And you know what's even more powerful than all of that? You've stopped doubting it. You've stopped arguing with your own light. You've stopped waiting for the world to catch up. And now, you don't have to prove anything. Your energy speaks louder than words. You're vibrating on God's frequency now, and even they can feel it. You finally realized you are the rhythm. You are the moment. And whether others accept it or not, you're moving forward. Because there is something building now, quietly, relentlessly, with precision. Something real. A business, a book, a song, a relationship, a new home, a complete life shift. And it's not just an idea anymore. It's moving through your bloodstream. And the more you center into your own body, the more clearly you'll feel it taking shape. So go there. Trust your posture. Trust your cravings. Trust the tingles in your fingers when you're onto something. Trust the wave of resistance when you know something's too small for you. Trust the sensation in your gut when you're around someone who drains your magic instead of mirrors it. This body you're in, it's a compass. And it's time you stop treating it like a container and start honoring it as a collaborator. Because you're not here to escape your life. You're here to enchant it, to redesign it, to reclaim every space where you once shrank, and to declare, without apology, that you came here to create, even if they call it crazy, even if they roll their eyes or mock what they can't feel. You don't need their comprehension. You have confirmation from your guides, from your dreams, from the undeniable feeling in your chest that you're stepping into something far bigger than before. And this time, you're not second-guessing it. You're not putting your power on mute. You're not dressing it down to keep people calm. This time, you're walking in fully, unfiltered, unfolded, unapologetically aligned, because you were never meant to be the echo of someone else's magic. You came here to be the original, the proof, the evidence that miracles can take form, that sacred visions can become physical, that a life rooted in divine rhythm is not a fantasy, it's a blueprint. And you are walking it right now. So don't shrink, don't stall, don't entertain the versions of you that stopped dreaming because the world got too loud. Return. Return to the part of you that knew all along. You were never the seeker. You were always the source. And now it's time to build. You have the blueprint, the energy, the authority. You are the magician. And this reality? It's ready to be rewritten by your hands. Thank you so much for taking this journey with me. If this message resonated, please like, share it with someone who might benefit, and subscribe to stay connected. Continue your awakening journey by choosing one of the videos on your screen that resonates with you the most. See you there. Hello and welcome, my dear friend. Let me say something you may not have heard in a long time, if ever. You are not here to be reasonable about your pain, and you are not here to explain what they did. That moment they thought they broke you, that wasn't the end. That was the exact second your story broke free from their hands and began to write itself with fire. I'm not here to talk about healing like it's a checklist. I'm here to talk about reclaiming the chapters of your life that were stolen, mislabeled, and twisted by people who never had the right to hold the pen. Let's be clear. Something happened. And it wasn't fair. It wasn't your fault. And it damn sure wasn't for your own good, in the way people like to say when they don't have the range to hold your grief. There was a moment, and you remember it vividly, where everything inside you said, I can't live like this anymore. Not because you gave up, but because something in your spirit stood up and refused to let you be erased. That moment was rebellion, quiet, divine, necessary. You didn't just walk away, you detonated a pattern that had you shackled in silence for years, maybe even lifetimes. And maybe you didn't know what you were doing at the time. Maybe you just felt the urgency to leave, to say no, to cut the cord without a speech or an explanation. But your soul knew. Your soul knew it was time to flip the script. Not rewrite it politely, but tear the whole damn thing down to the bones and build something truer. You were not confused. You were clear. You were not broken. You were breaking through. This is what most people miss. The universe doesn't always sound like a trumpet or a thunderclap. Sometimes it sounds like enough. Sometimes divine timing looks like you reaching your limit. And that final betrayal, that was permission. Not to be okay, but to stop pretending that okay was enough. Let's name it. What they did to you wasn't just hurtful. It was humiliating. It was dismissive. It was cold. It left you asking questions that no one answered. They turned your softness into a game. They used your loyalty like a leash. They smiled while they erased you. And for a while, you almost let them convince you it was your karma, that somehow your pain was proof you deserved it. That right there, that lie, is where the war started. Not a war with them, a war with the voice inside that tried to make peace with being mistreated. The part of you that said, maybe this is just how it is for me. You see, they underestimated something. You. They forgot that you carry the kind of light that exposes shadows, that when you walk away, whole timelines collapse, that when you stop giving, entire systems of manipulation crumble. You didn't just leave people behind, you left an identity that was never yours. You walked out of a role that asked you to be invisible and grateful for it. That was the real rebellion. That was the miracle they never saw coming. And now, here you are, standing in a new kind of silence. Not the silence of repression, but the silence of reset. The kind of silence right before lightning splits the sky and rewrites the weather. It's uncomfortable, I know, because there's a part of you that still wants closure, still wants clarity, still wants someone to look you in the eye and say, you were right, you were always right. But you need to hear me clearly now. You're done waiting for them to make it right. Your life moving forward is the justice. You're not trapped in the damage they caused. You're what shook the ground when you finally walked away. And everything that felt like it was tearing you down was actually carving space for the version of you that doesn't tolerate what the old you begged for. That's why detachment isn't about walking away and pretending it didn't matter. It's about refusing to let what happened become your definition. It's about no longer being available to what wounded you. You have nothing to prove to them, not your strength, not your growth, not even your silence. The days of over-explaining your healing to people who never respected your hurting, they're done. And the child within you, the one who stayed too long in rooms that didn't feel safe, is watching you now. Watching you take steps they never felt strong enough to take. You're not just healing. You're avenging every version of yourself that was told to shrink to survive. And this time, you're not going back. Let them talk. Let them rewrite their version of the story. Let them pretend you just changed out of nowhere. You don't owe the past your presence. You don't owe confusion your clarity. And you don't owe your energy to anything that demands you explain your awakening like an apology. Right now, you are not being called to finish old conversations. You are being called to start a new life. A life where your peace is not earned, it's inherited. A life where your time isn't a favor, it's sacred. A life where you're no longer addicted to understanding the people who made you feel unlovable. Let them be confused. Let them miss access to you. Let them sit with the version of you they created in their mind, because the real you is moving on. And let's talk about that. It doesn't mean you're healed all the way. It doesn't mean you don't still get angry or sad or tired of being the one who has to carry the wisdom while they carry the audacity. It means you're finally ready to stop waiting for closure from people who were never open. It means your silence is no longer a holding pattern. It's a throne. And no one is invited to sit beside you unless they know how to kneel with reverence at the truth you carry. This new chapter won't feel familiar at first. That's the point. Your nervous system is still wired for disappointment. Your spirit remembers every moment it had to flinch while pretending it was fine. So this peace might feel awkward at first. The quiet might feel too quiet. The love might feel too pure to trust. That's normal. That's healing. Healing doesn't always feel good. Sometimes it feels like you're standing in an empty hallway, unsure which door will open. But I promise you, this hallway is holy. Because this is where you meet the you that doesn't beg for breadcrumbs. This is where you become the version of yourself that can hold blessings without flinching, that can walk into rooms without needing permission, that can choose joy without fearing it will be taken. This is where you learn that detachment is not apathy, it's power. It's the power to say, I release this not because it didn't matter, but because I do, because you matter. Not for what you survived, not for how well you forgave, not for how silent you stayed while they misunderstood you. You matter because you are the living proof that divine timing wears scars and still walks upright. You are proof that justice doesn't always come in headlines. Sometimes justice is you waking up one morning and realizing you're not angry anymore. You're not waiting for the apology. You're not replaying the moment they failed you. You're not checking their page. You're not wondering if they miss you. You're not imagining revenge. You're not imagining anything at all, because finally, you're imagining you. A you that doesn't just survive, but builds. A you that doesn't obsess over being understood, but lives in truth too large to be explained. A you that knows the best revenge is not success. The best revenge is self-possession. Not needing to be the bigger person. Not needing to show up and prove how much you've grown. Not needing to prove anything ever again. Just being. Unbothered, unavailable, unapologetic. This is your return. Not to who you were before the injustice, but to the you that always existed underneath it. The one who never needed their approval, their explanation, or their closure. You are the closure. You are the full stop at the end of their sentence. And now, you begin. So if you're standing at the edge right now, if your hands are shaking, and your voice is quiet, and your heart still wonders if it's too late, hear me. It's not too late. You haven't missed anything. In fact, everything that was delayed so you could step into it as this version of you. Not the broken one, not the begging one, the boundless one, the one who no longer negotiates their worth, the one who doesn't search the past for answers they were never meant to find, the one who trusts that peace is not found in understanding why they hurt you. Peace is found in realizing you don't live there anymore, and no one gets to drag you back. So stand tall. This story, it belongs to you now. Not the version they wrote, not the one they fear you'll tell. The real one. The one you've earned in silence, in stillness, in truth. And that story? It starts today. Thank you so much for taking this journey with me. If you found value in this message, please like the video and share it with others who might benefit. Don't forget to subscribe and continue your amazing journey by watching one of the videos showing on your screen that resonates with you the most. See you there. Hello and welcome, my dear friend. Some signs don't speak, they echo. And when you keep seeing numbers like 1441, 2112 or 330, you're not just catching patterns, you're catching reflections. Like two realities briefly locking eyes before one dissolves into the next. Because mirror numbers aren't just spiritual fluff. They're not cosmic fortune cookies. They are coordinates, placed like pins across the timeline of your awakening. Not to tell you where to go, but to remind you where you've been, and how far you've shifted without even realizing it. You're not watching the signs anymore. The signs are watching you. They didn't start appearing when everything was calm. They showed up when your life started stretching, when your identity no longer fit into the space you once called home, when you weren't who you used to be, but didn't yet know how to name who you were becoming. That's when they began to shimmer, not just in clocks, but in receipts, emails, phone calls, billboards, license plates, every mirrored number like a whisper from the next version of your life saying, "You're close, keep going." The beauty of a mirror is that it doesn't invent anything. It simply reflects what already exists. And when these numbers show up in perfect symmetry, they're not forecasting your destiny. They're showing you that part of you has already arrived and the rest of you is catching up. You are walking between timelines, and the mirror numbers are those strange golden lights at the edge of the forest, flickering to let you know, this isn't a loop. It's an entrance. You're not crazy for noticing them. You're tuned. You're not chasing signs. You've become a frequency that attracts alignment. Imagine you're walking across a bridge between two versions of yourself. The old one is fading behind you. The new one hasn't fully formed. And in between, these numbers appear like lanterns swinging in the wind, not demanding your trust, but rewarding it. This is why it often happens when you're uncertain, when you're shedding old habits, leaving relationships that no longer nourish you, or finally stepping into the work your soul has been aching to express. Because change, real change, doesn't announce itself with fanfare. It sneaks in through details. And these mirrored numbers are the details most people miss. But you don't. You've always sensed more than what's visible. Felt timelines tightening or slipping through your fingers. Noticed the way your energy contracts when you take the wrong step, and how it expands when you're in flow. Seeing a mirror number is like hearing a familiar voice in a foreign place. It doesn't tell you what to do, but it reminds you that you're not lost, that something, someone, is walking beside you, not behind, not ahead, beside. It's not a coincidence that you look at the clock at just the right moment, or that your phone lights up with a timestamp you've already seen 3 times that day. These are not reminders, they're resonances. And what's so beautiful about this, what people rarely talk about, is that these numbers don't need to be understood to work. You don't have to decode everyone. You don't need a spreadsheet of meanings. Because often, it's not about the number itself. It's about what you were thinking, feeling, or surrendering at the exact moment you saw it. That number becomes a spiritual snapshot, a freeze frame of your frequency. Proof that you were aligned, even if just for a second. You're not waiting for miracles. You're becoming one tiny shift at a time. And every mirror number you've seen lately, that's the universe saying, I see you transforming, and I'm mirroring it back. You've felt it, haven't you? A strange kind of pull, like something invisible rearranging your steps, slightly, gently, but with certainty. You keep ending up in the right place without planning it. You keep saying things you didn't rehearse. meeting people you never saw coming, and almost always, a mirror number shows up close behind, not to congratulate you, but to confirm you're in sync with the path your higher self already chose before you forgot. You are not just manifesting, you're remembering. And every mirrored number is a trace of that memory trying to break through the noise of your current timeline, whispering, "You've been here before, not in body, but in soul." That's why these numbers don't just feel like signs, they feel like interruptions. Time slows. You pause, and in that pause, something shifts. You stop doubting, you stop spiraling, you stop asking how, and start feeling ready. It's no accident that these mirror numbers began appearing more often as you started letting go of the old you, the one who always needed to make sense of everything before trusting anything. That version of you believed that safety came from control, but the real you, the one stepping forward now, they know that peace isn't in controlling the path, it's in becoming the path. And mirror numbers? They are the mile markers along that inner highway. They don't tell you where the destination is, they prove you're already en route. So yes, your world might look the same to others right now. Same room, same job, same city, but everything is different, because your frequency is no longer matching your old timeline. And that mismatch is what creates the shimmer. That almost imperceptible feeling that you're walking through scenes that no longer quite fit. That time is bending, that the air itself feels thinner. That's not disorientation, that's realignment. You may start to notice more glitches. Things that used to repeat suddenly stop. People who once called every day go silent. You feel like you're walking through an echo of the past, but your heart is already in the future. Why? Because you've crossed something, some invisible line that can't be undone. You're not straddling timelines anymore. You're anchoring into the one that finally fits your truth. And mirror numbers still show up, not to pull you forward anymore, but to celebrate you. To say, you've arrived at another checkpoint, another layer of yourself unlocked. Let others call it superstition. Let them dismiss it as a trick of the eyes. But you know better. You've seen too much, felt too much, heard too many divine whispers arrive on time, right before everything changed. You are not seeking proof. You are the proof. You didn't need a burning bush to know you were chosen. The numbers on the microwave at 11:11 were enough, because in that split second, the veil lifted, and you remembered you were walking with something holy, even in a kitchen, even in your pajamas, even in the mundane. That's the thing about these numbers. They don't need to be sacred. You make them sacred by what you do when you see them. You breathe, you shift, you let go of something heavy, you trust something deeper. And in that moment, you step further out of the version of you who needed the world to believe in magic first, before daring to live it. So the next time you see 1551, don't rush past it. Pause, take a breath, and ask yourself, what am I realigning with right now? What version of me is this moment activating? What timeline is responding to my courage? Because that number didn't just show up on your screen. It appeared on your path because you were finally ready to see it. Not as coincidence, but as conversation. Not as prediction, but as permission. You are walking between timelines, not because you're lost, but because you're being found by the life that's been waiting for you to believe in it, just enough to step in. And every mirror number that greets you along the way, it's just the universe's way of saying, I see you choosing yourself. I see you arriving. And this time, you're not going back. Thank you so much for taking this journey with me. If this message resonated, please like, share it with someone who might benefit, and subscribe to stay connected. Continue your awakening journey by choosing one of the videos on your screen that resonates with you the most. See you there.